Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to comment on Double Coconut and how they were supposed to be and maybe still are, and what's their relationship with Splinterlands. How are they dealing with tower defense? Is tower defense dead? There was talk on this within the recent town hall, and man, the town hall is full of stuff, so you got to check that out. But for this video, we're just going to focus in on Double Coconut and tower defense. I am a person who wants to see tower defense. I'm excited about what that is, and I'm excited to actually get my hands on it, literally, not in some test sense, but in the actual playable portion of the game. I have 133 nightmare packs, and I'm pumped to get them open and get going. But as you guys well know, the development of this happened through a company named Double Coconut. That was a partnership that we sort of, I guess, endorsed, or there was an element of connection and cross pollination there. One of the things I'm most excited about Splinterlands as a broad sort of economy is that we can get this, we can do this, we can have games like Splinter Forge or Double Coconut and creating tower defense and so on, where we can grow our ecosystem without necessarily the direct oversight that Splinterlands is and has. But for some reason, this was delayed. For some reason, tower defense was stalled. It sounds like, it was released. There was 25 levels. It was tested. People seemed to like it. And then there was like a stop, some sort of interruption where essentially we were told it needed to be taken by the Splinterlands team. And I can't understand this stuff. But I'm gonna share a clip in a minute where Matt answers a question. Well, what's going on here? I thought they were handling that development. Why is it being held up? Why is it being stalled? Why are you guys taking these reins? Since there has to be layoffs and there's not enough team as it is for Splinterlands related topics. The Land 1.5 is being delayed. Rebellion's supposed to come out soon. It's like Splinterlands should focus. It seems to be the question, and Matt answers, commenting specifically on where Double Coconut's at and why they haven't sort of taken this ball across the line. So I want to hear what he has to say, and I want to do some more conversation around this topic. I'm going to cut to a clip now from Matt. Matt's about to answer the question. He'll pose the question and then answer it. So let's just listen in.
Hurricane's asking, I may have missed something, but what happened to Double Coconut? I thought that they were making tower defense. They are the ones who built tower defense. Nothing happened to Double Coconut. It's just that in order to actually release the game as part of the Splinterlands ecosystem, we can't have a third party just handle that themselves. It takes a lot of work, coordination between both teams, and that's just what we haven't had the resources and focus to do. So they are sort of they're still working on fixing bugs and adding some more features here and there, but ultimately it's kind of in a waiting pattern right now until we can really focus on working with them to get it released and get it released properly.
So that's the full context and question and answer. I guess where I'm at is, and I want, if you guys have a better understanding of the main core of what Matt's response is, I'd love to hear it in the comments. And as I see it, what the main focus is that he said, in order to launch it within the Splinterlands ecosystem, we have to have our hands on it. That's what I heard. And I don't understand that logic. There's something about programming. There's something about, there's technical stuff that's beyond me. But when I just struggle to understand this issue, I just look at Splinter Forge and I say to myself, this is a game where I can use Splinterlands assets. And yet Splinterlands has no part in it. And I think that there's a disconnect here because Splinter Forge doesn't have, there's some sort of back end component where tower defense is connected and there's an interconnection between tower defense and the Splinterlands ecosystem that doesn't exist with Splinter Forge. But Splinter Forge, for all of your, maybe you don't enjoy the gameplay, you don't think the graphics are great, whatever about Splinter Forge, it's not your favorite, fine. This is an interesting example of, I just don't see why this issue with Double Coconut is even a thing. Because it's just let them create the product. And then if there's any sort of economic links, hey, you give them tower defense tokens for playing the game. I think that's where the problem is. You're theoretically going to get SPS. You're theoretically going to get DC. I think it's SPS, not DC, for playing the game. And I think that's where part of the problem happens, because it's interconnecting with, and there needs to make sure there's no sort of hackables or problems, etc. But if that's the case, can we just agree that this is not optimal? Because essentially we're creating this you know, even if we had 100 developers who wanted to create 100 different games that were all amazing and that would grow and help our community and our game to flourish, Splinterlands, I mean, not Splinter Forge. If there is this sort of choke point where Splinterlands always has to touch it and carry the ball across the finish line, then we got a real problem. Because we're saying like Double Coconut, Programmer 2, Programmer 3, Programmer 4, all the, you know, every company that wants to create a game, you got to code it completely. And then we got to stop at the end. You're at the 99-yard line. You're ready to go for the touchdown. And I got to take that ball from you and stop and just look at the code and make sure we're still good. There's no, you know, exploits or bugs that are going to be problems for SPS, etc. And I think that's what the issue is. Again, maybe I don't fully understand it. If you understand it, help me out in the comments below, guys, because this feels like a major issue, because it's going to impede the capacity for Splinterlands, the ecosystem, to grow from third-party development. The core and the key of what we were so excited about, at least I was excited about, with respect to Double Coconut and to lesser extent with Splinter Forge, is that the idea we could grow this from like a grassroots level with people who are interested in this space, in this game, could just add new utility by building their own levels, by building their own gaming experience and using our assets. That's exciting. But again, if that ball has to cross the finish line in the hands of the Splinterlands team after they review, like double review, triple review, all the work that's already been checked by the other team, Double Coconut in this case, I think we're making a, you know, something's broken. That mechanism, that approach is just problematic and not optimal. And so again, I might be missing something, but man, I want to see this game launch. I want to see Tower Defense get in my hands. I want to play this thing. And I understand Splinterlands can't deal with that right now. They got to deal with 1.5. They just did some layoffs. You see it in the town hall. You know, there's other fish to fry. But my question, and I really feel like it's not answered by Matt in that clip, nor anyone up till now. It's like there's just this vague response of, we need to make sure it's safe. Why? I don't, like, maybe I can't technically understand that, but how is this different than Splinter Forge? Splinter Forge had no approvals, no double checking, no Splinterlands team involvement. It just launched. It was a game that used our assets. How is the Double Coconut experience, the Tower Defense experience different? I don't understand. And if it's different in a way that's creating chokes and delays, then we need to stop that. We need to fix that so that other developers during a bull market, especially, maybe not, it's not such a big deal now, but during a bull market, we need to want, or we ought to want, different developers to come and rush and collaborate with us and make their own games like Splinter Forge, like Tower Defense, that are going to sort of piggyback and interact with our system and our, you know, player base and give new value and utility for the tokens. That's amazing. We aren't going to get that if we put up barriers, if we put up choke points that restrict and delay and cause problems for the release of new amazing games. I don't know. Guys, help me understand this. I am shaking my head as I listen to that town hall and that content specifically. I want to understand. I'm sure it's just some sort of programming issue, but we need to figure this out so that it's not happening with future development. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks a lot. Have an amazing day. God bless. Bye for now.